Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. I look forward to looking at your research paper presentations. I did my research paper on coping and stress management. I hope you guys enjoy it. So the learning objectives after today's presentation, I hope you should all be able to understand how stress can affect students, determine ways to manage stress, and identify resources that can assist you with coping with stress. So the reason I chose this topic is because I kind of hit near to my heart. I've been extremely stressed out this semester, and even before I was very nervous about going back to school. And to say the least, this semester has been quite stressful. So that coupling with being able to find quite a few resources, I typed in different headings or different topics into the library page and found quite a few come up for the coping and stress management. So those two things together is why I chose this topic. So some of the effects that stress has on students or people in general, but we're kind of focused on students here. So some of the effects it has is it can affect your sleep. It, of course, higher levels of anxiety, lack of motivation and focus, and depression are some of just a few effects. There's quite a few more than that. So the next part about this presentation is going to be the methods to help us with coping. There are many, some research I looked up said hundreds. We're just going to be covering a brief few of those today. The first of which is journal writing. So a few things about journal writing that show how helpful it is. The first being that it's therapeutic. The research has said extremely therapeutic to help with journal writing, that it can be as effective as going to a therapist and going to actual therapy, but of course with the benefit of it being for free. You don't have to pay for it. Anyone can do it. You do not need to have an expensive therapist. You do not need to leave your house. You can do it all from the comfort of your own home. Getting down into the nitty gritty of it, the why journal writing is helpful is because it lets us get to the bottom of our issues. You know, you may think you understand your issue or what's giving you stress, but it is extremely beneficial to get to the bottom of the issues. Basically, it helps clear the mind of thoughts. It has a calming effect that takes place as thoughts and feelings are transferred from the mind to the page. Our next method to help cope would be time management, something we've learned a lot in this class. Time management is obviously a big one. If you can keep on top of your time management, that is going to help you out with your stress levels a lot. It's not going to erase it, it helps mitigate it. It's about trying to keep the stress at a minimum. It's not about trying to erase the stress from your life completely. It's about trying to minimize it and help. Time management, as long as you are good at that, is going to help you a lot with time management. Some ways to help you with the time management, even though we have learned about these, but just going to reiterate them here, is the pickle jar theory, which we learned about early on this semester. Mainly just prioritization. Prioritization is going to be a big one, from your less important to your more important, from your less time consuming to your most time consuming. Planning, of course, is the same way, another way of saying the same thing. You can do this by using a planner or a calendar, and it helps keep procrastination away. If you can keep on top of your time management, you are pretty much not going to be a procrastinator. So the next method of coping is going to be physical exercise. In the research, it was considered by some researchers to be considered the best form of coping. It has many benefits, and is, by the majority of the researchers, it sounded like they considered the number one way to keep away stress and to help cope and manage with stress. It doesn't always have to be working out. People assume physical exercise, you think of working out, you think of going to the gym. It does not have to be that. It can be something, it just needs to be a routine task that lets your mind, you don't have to use your mind for. Any sort of routine task, a repetitive task that your mind can just kind of check out for. Things like cleaning the house, walking your pet, those count as something that will help you clear your mind. It's something that doesn't require your mind much to do the task. The next and the last topic we're going to talk about is humor. So humor in the research came up to be a big help. It's all about trying to attack these situations with a humorous attitude. If you are a person who can joke about things more often than not, you're in a good place. The more you can attack these situations with a humorous attitude, the less stressed you're going to be. In the research, it showed that people who had lower senses of humor were much more stressed out people than people who had higher senses of humor were much less stressed out. So it may be kind of counterintuitive. You may not think stress and humor go hand in hand, but the more you can bring a humorous attitude to these stressful situations in our lives, the more it's going to be able to help you. Okay, so here are some resources that are going to help us with coping and stress management. So our advisor is going to be a big help there. Each time I've spoken with my advisor, it has lessened my stress greatly about whatever it was I was stressed out about when I was contacting her. So advisor is going to be the first one. They have mental health counselors at school. That's obviously also going to be a help. It kind of goes without saying. You can reach out to them for help. It would most likely be very beneficial. The Campus Fitness Center, as we talked about, exercise is going to be a big help with stress and coping with stress. So you, of course, have the Campus Fitness Center to help in that area. And of course, there is outside therapy, a licensed therapist. That I would say would be more for if the things we've talked about here aren't really helping you much and the stress is out of control, then of course, we always suggest to go see a true outside licensed therapist. So here's my first works cited page, and then my second works cited page, and I hope you guys enjoyed that and found it informative. Thank you.